All right. Hello. We are live, guys. What's up? We are live on YouTube and we are live on the TikTok as well. Good evening. What is happening? Hello, all my TikTok people. We're waiting on our YouTube folks to tune in. I see some people trickling in. There we go. Good evening. Good evening. Tonight's going to be really fun. I have a very fun guest that I'm going to pop in here in just a minute. And TikTok folks, you really can't tell because I didn't put a title down. But a Katan movie with a question mark. What is that all about? What is that all about? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, and just some fun stuff for you guys to know for what's coming. And I get to be a part of it, which is super cool, man. So I'm excited to share a lot about this project, but it's not something of my own. It's something I get to be a part of. And what's really cool is I have a friend here with me in the live, a director that I'm going to bring in here in just a second. And hello, what's up? Hi, thanks for tuning in, guys. And again, all my TikTok folks, I am live on YouTube as well. So if you want to, see my face and tune in to the stream there, if you have another browser open, you're more than welcome to join us. So we would be honored if you would join us. Nico, I see you, man. Hey, we got some fun stuff we're talking about, man. I can't wait to chat with you on Friday, too, for Bad Batch stuff. And Arc Trooper, I see you in there. What's up, man? Hello. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest in, and we'll get the stream started, guys. Perfect. There we go. Everyone,
hey,
please
everybody.
Give a big welcome to my friend Gabriel. And Gabriel, is it Kawamura?
Kawamura, yep, perfect.
Good. I said it right. Good. I try not to butcher names. I try. Sometimes I fail, but I practice, so we're good.
Yeah, all good there.
Yeah, man. So I'm so thankful that I was able to steal you in and have you come on to the stream tonight. And first, let me explain how I got in touch with this guy. So number one, everyone who knows, what I do and my passion for Star Wars and acting. Everyone knows that's my whole shindig. And I think it was my brothers. They sent me a post that was online about a Bo-Katan. It's a fan film that's going to be in production, and they were like, yeah, you should check it out. This seems like something up your alley. I was like, all right, I'll see what it's about. And, I read the description. I was like, wow, this sounds really interesting. And there's one particular character that I think I would definitely fit. And I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, because we're going to get into that. But anyway, that's how I came in touch with Gabriel, and I reached out to him. And, I was like, hey, man, I'm really interested in this fan film that you are, putting together. I would love to just get some details about it. And I was like, hey, whatever you need me to do, you need me to submit an audition, I'll do it. I'm just interested, to know more about it. And, sure enough, a few days later, he gets back to me, and Gabriel's just the nicest guy. He's like, dude, look, I've seen what you do. I know your heart. Don't even worry about auditioning. I've seen your page. He's like, I know your heart for Star Wars. And I think you're going to make a good fit, without a doubt. So, I'm very excited to have you on, Gabriel. Absolutely.
I'm super excited to be here. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you're excited, because I definitely am as well. So enough about just me talking. Gabriel, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do? And then also kind of your history in filmmaking. Like, where did that start?
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you messaged me, emailed me in the first place. Responding to that casting call and stuff, like that just worked out really perfectly.
Yeah, man.
That was awesome. So I started off just watching movies as a young kid, watching special features and stuff like that. And I think that's like the behind the scenes sort of thing is what got me excited about making films and stuff like that. What really excites me about filmmaking is movie magic. So how you can film something maybe on a green screen and make it look like it's somewhere entirely else.
Yep.
Or sorry about my dog.
No worries. I
Background.
have the same problem every day. Don't worry.
So
it's either my daughter or the dog. One of them barking. So.
Yeah, just watching special features. Actually, something that I remember very specifically was watching a Phantom Menace behind the scenes. It was like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, right?
Yeah.
And they were like in this big blue stage, and I was like a 7 or 8 year old, and I was like, well, this is crazy with like the ropes and the wires and like going on like, and I was like, wow, that's like super cool, and I wanted to do something similar to that. So I just started like studying the craft and making my own films and stuff like that. I just remembered this like yesterday, or like I don't know, a couple days ago, that this actually isn't my first Star Wars film.
Oh, really?
Like when I was like back in the day, like I used my mom's camera phone to make like a stop motion film about like clones with my Clone Trooper action figure.
Wow, yeah, that's the best, man.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that until like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And then I wrote like a couple fan fictions and stuff back in the day too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like this, I'm super excited about this, like going through the whole process of writing the script and finding the locations, finding the talent. Costumes are a big one. So yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing, I guess when I'm thinking about film, what's one particular movie you would say that was like, oh man, that was the bug that was like, you know what, I like that one movie that you would say like, this is the thing that gave me the bug to really want to get behind the camera. Like, what was that moment, for you?
Yeah, it's really hard to say because I've been watching so many films, been into it for so long. Yeah. But one thing that really stands out is Super 8, that J.J. Abrams film.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's because the kids in the film are like actually making a film, kind of the style that like I would have done it. Yeah. So I think that's probably, and like I watched, I was a big fan of that film. Good film overall, but like the side story of them like making the film is like, I really enjoyed that too. Yeah. Movies about making movies always interest me.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I'm for better lack of words, almost like that, first person, kind of, perception, into things. I love that. Exactly. And again, TikTok people, if you can pop open another browser, you're more than welcome to join us on YouTube. We have an awesome guest with us, Director Gabriel. He's here with us, and we're talking about a Bo-Katan fan film that is going to be coming, and a little bit of my involvement with it. So definitely join us in if you want to get the scoop, and be sure to subscribe. I have to do that every now and then, Gabriel, because they're they know nothing. They can't hear anything of what I'm doing over here on TikTok. So I'm like bouncing back and forth. So I love y'all. Y'all know I love it. So and it looks like we have cool. Hey, what's up, guys in the chat? I see you. So now we talked a little bit about film and a little bit of your history with that and the excitement and all that stuff, which is really cool. Now Star Wars, what was the film and what was the moment that was like, man, this is what got you into Star Wars? Like, what was it for you?
It was probably when I saw Star Wars Episode 3 in theaters. It was like opening weekend, and I don't remember how old I was at the time, but like I was younger. And my dad is a big fan, and he's the one who turned me on to Star Wars in the first place. Yeah, we watched all of them, and just watching Revenge of the Sith was like unbelievable. Like, all the details and stuff like that, and like the fight scenes are like super cool and stuff. Like, it was like pretty life changing.
It's so funny you mentioned that, because I literally tonight I just had a video that came out on the channel, and I get asked this question a lot, like, hey, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? So I was like, you know what? Since I get asked it so much, I'm just going to do a lengthier video talking about it. And literally, that was what I was talking about, was the prequel era. I grew up with I grew up with the original trilogy, but it was on VHS. So again, I'm probably showing my age to some people. Some folks here on TikTok are like, "What the heck is a VHS?" But again, it's a thing that existed. We used to watch movies on it. You can rewind and fast forward, all that jazz. You see, yeah, I'm showing my age. But anyway, I grew up with that. But then theatrically, for me, my first experience was the prequels, and then Revenge of the Sith. I would have to say that's one of my favorites too, because it was that closing moment to our, I guess trilogy, as children, if you grew up with the prequels, and it was that moment of a callback to the original trilogy where it brought everything full circle, and I think, man, it just brings back so many memories. But yeah, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I was like, I literally just had a video that came out talking about it. So
that's awesome.
Everybody go watch it. Go watch it. So
yeah. The prequels, some people, I'm not going to call anybody out, but some people don't like them and stuff. But I personally really enjoy them. I really love the mythology and the everything that was happening in the Star Wars universe during the time of the prequels.
Yeah,
there's so much stuff that's happening. With the height of the Jedi Order, there's multiple Jedi as opposed to in the original trilogy, which I love that too. But there's just a couple Jedi at a time.
Yeah.
So
and you hear rumors about these things, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Now we get to see it in the prequels. Yeah.
Then, you get to see these stories that they're talking about, come to life. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. No, agree. It's funny you mentioned something, because I think I heard a quote and I totally agree with it. I think Star Wars has this thing of, you just give it time. It's like a really fine wine. You know what I mean? It might be bitter for some people in the beginning, but years down the road, if you look at today, everyone's like, there's a lot of people that have grown to love the prequels. When years ago, we remember as kids, people were bashing it, hating it, and I was like, I loved it. I didn't have a problem with it. But now the prequels are like this gold thing. And so, what it makes me think of is years later from now, everyone's going to be like, the sequels are amazing. So I think Star Wars it definitely has this, it's like a fine wine type of thing that goes, with the fandom, at least. Just give it time and everybody will love it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
sometimes it just takes some time to appreciate, when you watch it for the first time, maybe you don't pick up on all the details or appreciate the film fully, but as you rewatch it multiple times, watch it for the 10th or 11th time, then you really start to appreciate these characters and just the story overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, here's another question for you pertaining to Star Wars. If we're talking characters, I would say Jedi bounty hunters. Who are some of your? I guess if you could pick a top three, who are some of your top three characters that you say? I'm looking at Jedi, I'm looking at bounty hunters, I'm looking at species, whether it's Twi'lek or whatever. Who are some of your favorite characters?
That's very, very interesting. I'll have to think about that. I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. My number one. Well, of course, my number one at the moment is probably Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
But it's always in a state of flux.
Yeah.
I really like Cassian Andor, which might be an interesting choice. But I love that he's kind of got this swagger going. People they compare him to Han Solo. I don't compare him to Han Solo. I think he's a very original character.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just like the way he's not up in your face, but he means business, and he's a very experienced fighter and just rebel and stuff like that.
Cassian Andor. We also have the show coming, which is going to be great, and I loved Rogue One. He's definitely has this very precise kind of attitude, you know what I mean, where like you said, he's very down to business, but Han is just grumpy old Han, and and I wouldn't have it any other way. Same as Harrison Ford. So but I definitely that's surprising. Cassian Andor is really cool, and I'm excited to see more of him and a little bit more of his character, which would be really fun. So now, without further ado, let's talk about the project. So I will kind of let you take it away, and then I'll chime in. In certain moments where I'm talking about. I'll share my involvement later, so we'll get into that here soon. But why don't you talk about where did this idea come from, for the fan film, number one? So that'll be the first question, then I'll ask the next one after that. So where did the idea come from for the film?
Sweet. So I was recently rewatching Rebels. And I hope all of the people tuning in have seen Rebels. It's an amazing series. So much good content in there. The story is awesome. Yep. The character development is great. And I really was wanting to make a fan film because, just a love of Star Wars and stuff like that. And I really didn't think it was possible with the budget that I have. And, Star Wars is Star Wars. Like that means visual effects and
everything.
Outer space. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just, so if you haven't seen Rebels in the audience, I might spoil some stuff for you, but in the last season of Rebels, Sabine gives Bo-Katan the Darksaber.
Yep.
And we all know what that means, that she is now, she receives this crown of leadership, essentially. However, we never see anything beyond that. We don't see what Bo-Katan does after that. And then Mandalorian Season 2 comes out. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you haven't seen Season 2 of Mandalorian, I don't know what you're doing. But
right. What rock are you living under? What's going on?
And Bo-Katan was always a really a favorite of mine.
Yep.
But I was kind of interested to know what happened after she receives the Darksaber, and I looked on the fandom pages and Wikipedia and stuff like that, and there's nothing. So I just decided to make just make my own film and just tell that story from my perspective, sort of like a fan fiction story.
Yep.
So I just started there, and the film takes place right after that episode. So it's Rebels Season 4, episode 2.5, if you will.
Okay.
So it's right in that time period, the start of the Galactic Empire and stuff like that. And it's kind of like the way Rogue One ended. The exact moment Episode 4, A New Hope starts. It's it's kind of that style. Although not mimicking or anything, but I just wanted to tell Bo-Katan's story because she has such an interesting backstory, being Satine's sister, and Satine is in love with Obi-Wan, and she has a really important part to play in the whole Star Wars universe. Yep. And I just think that there's a whole lot to tell with her character.
Absolutely.
Really out there in the canon or any legends or anything right now.
Yeah.
So I went with that. Started writing it, integrated as much story development and character development as possible. And we were talking about this the other day. I was writing it and I was getting so excited. I was like, oh, I'll throw this character in there and this character. And then, this person's going to come back in a flashback and stuff like that. So there's some stuff that I hope the fans really enjoy in this film. And I'm going to be really, really excited once it's done. I'm super stoked already, but I just can't wait to see it come to life. I'm just through the roof about it.
Yeah, no, I'm just hearing you talk about it. I'm already stoked. And again, guys on TikTok, if you can, you're welcome to pop up another browser. I do this thing on TikTok where I don't show my face. I'm always in a bucket,
Oh yeah.
So that they see half of me right now, and everyone on YouTube sees everything. So again, if you guys have another browser open, you're more than welcome to come on over and listen to what we're talking about tonight. Y'all can see his face on his YouTube. Yes, see, thank you. Tell them. So you already answered one of my other questions because I was going to ask, when as far as time frame, of the film. So that's perfect. And one of the things that gets me most hyped for this is I absolutely loved Rebels so much, and it's one of those things of I don't think you could. Yeah, I can't compare it to Clone Wars because Clone Wars was kind of one of those things. It was very story arc driven, and that's one of the things I loved about Clone Wars. There's 7 seasons and so much that happens, and I think they fill in a lot of gaps and answer a lot of questions for things, particularly in the prequels, that I really enjoyed. So comparing it to Rebels, I've never really been able to do that, and I never will. But one of the things I love about Rebels is the character development and the Ghost Crew and kind of how it focuses on those characters, as you're going on this journey with them, that kind of found family, per se. And so right off the bat, Kieran, you talking about it, and even when I was looking over the script, it was one of those things I was like, this feels like, an episode of Rebels. It has that tone, and it sounds like that's exactly what you were going for, which is great. So to say the least, if there's any, I would say if any of you guys have seen Star Wars Rebels and you're going to see this film, you're definitely going to enjoy it for sure. I think there's something there for everyone. And as I was reading, I was like, man, this definitely has that tone, and I think you captured that well. Now, as far as title, is that finished, or are you revealing that quite yet?
Yeah, that's finished. I haven't really announced anything on social media, but I'm totally prepared. I'm probably going to start posting and making it public immediately, starting now. So actually we can reveal it now, or if you want to hold off, it's up to you.
The floor is yours, man. The floor. Hey, if you guys want to know the title to this film, I think they do. Take it away.
All right. The title of the film is called Bo-Katan Kryze's Return of the Prodigal Daughter.
Ooh.
Yep. And it's kind of an homage to the Rembrandt painting. I think it's Rembrandt. Return of the Prodigal Son. And there's a lot to unpack there. With the son, the whole painting has a story to it. And the son leaves and kind of leaves his family and everything behind. To go do,
squanders his money at Vegas.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And then I related that to Bo-Katan's character very, very personally. I think that she is the prodigal daughter.
You bring up a great point with that. And thank you so much for revealing the title. So that's awesome. You bring up, I think you and I, the first time that we met and talked, we had briefly talked about this, particularly with Bo-Katan, because I remember, when we were able to see her first live action appearance in the Mandalorian Season 2, there was all this hype and everyone was like, oh my God, I love Bo-Katan. She's my hero. And I'm like, wait a second. She was a terrorist, guys. She was a mercenary. Did we forget that? Did anyone else? Am I the only one who remembers this? But with you, I like where you're going with the film, because it's not denying that, but it's also saying, a person doesn't necessarily have to be defined by what they once wore. They're not defined by their past, sort of thing. That's kind of the heart, at least, that I felt, when speaking with you and talking about the film. And it sounds like, even reading over it, it sounds like she's still trying to figure herself out, in a sense, with this new responsibility that comes with being the Mandalore, and I think that alone is such a great thing. And that alone is also Star Wars. I mean, if you think about it, at the root of it, it's all about family. It's all about finding yourself. And I think we're going to see a lot of that in the film, which I'm very, very excited for. And now I know you mentioned next month. So next month is when you will actually start, doing the filming for the film. Can you, I know you probably can't show us, but visually, what are some things folks can expect? Like, hey, this is some of the sites that I'm looking at. Are you looking at a deserty feel or wilderness? I know you said some stuff about green screen. So it's Star Wars, guys. Of course, there's going to be some green screen stuff. So relax. It's going to be there. But in terms of this film, I guess in world perspective, that's what I'm saying. In world perspective, what can fans expect? Oh, I know that planet. What's some things you could spill the beans on for that?
Yep. So here's what you can expect. So in the film, we are returning to Mandalore. If you have seen the Clone Wars, the Mandalore character, the Mandalore story arc, They are on the capital city of Sundari. We are returning to that city in the film, and it takes place there. And there's a lot of space stuff too. We're going to be seeing these characters interact with each other on Bo-Katan's personal starfighter, and it's just going to be a lot of cool things. I've been watching a lot of Star Wars fan films, and I have been for a long time.
Yep.
And what I've noticed, there's a common trend. A lot of them are like filmed in the woods, or like something that doesn't show like human civilization.
Yeah.
And what I realized there is that human architecture or American architecture, it looks very, it looks very familiar to all of us, but Star Wars fans have a picture of Star Wars architecture in their minds. So I can just like go to a city and like film, like it's not going to look Star Wars.
Right.
So we
think Coruscant or
exactly, recreate it. Yeah. I scored a really cool location that looks very Star Wars. It's not like anything that you really see like in the United States or like anything that you've ever seen before. Wow. So some of it can be filmed practically on location without green screen. So that's super exciting. And then a lot of it is going to be filmed on green screen as well. So it's just going to be a whole mashup of stuff like that. And it's going to be super exciting. Like I can't believe it. Like when I first saw this location, I was like, because I didn't know where I was going to film like Sundari and stuff like that. And I was like, this project might, sink before it could even get its start.
Right.
Location. And then I was like, yep, this is the spot. Like this is going to save the film. Like honestly. Yeah. So, we're returning to Sundari. Some cool characters that the fans might recognize. Yep. You're going to see some returns of some cool fans. I'm not going to release them at this point in time, except for DadaLorian, your character. We can reveal that for sure whenever.
Oh yeah, talk about that here in just a second. I was pulling up Sundari. You mentioned that, and I'm like, I know it's ringing a bell. I just wanted to. I can share it on the screen just so folks can. Oh yeah. Duh. Yep. I remember this.
So it's a city that is covered by a dome. So when we're filming on the inside, you're not really going to see the sky or anything like that. But very blocky architecture, kind of like a white, bluish color tone.
Okay, man. Yeah, that gives me perspective. And I've seen this. In this was in Rebels, so that makes sense. That's gonna be really cool, man. Wow. So now you mentioned. Now I mentioned this earlier, and Mr. Gabriel, he mentioned it as well. So not only is this Bo-Katan, fan film happening, but also the DadaLorian. I myself get to be a part of it. I would ask people like, hey, what character do you guys think I'm going to play? I usually get, stupid answers like, oh, you're probably going to be like C-3PO, or I always get the weirdest stuff like, what? Really? How did you see that? How did you make that connection? And I'm doing well. Thank you guys for asking. And I'm not ignoring anyone in TikTok. I just wish I could share the audio of what I'm doing on YouTube, but unfortunately I can't. So if you guys have another browser open on YouTube, you're more than welcome to join us. We're talking about a Bo-Katan fan film that's happening and that I can be a part of. And now what I want to do is reveal kind of the parts that I get to play. So number one, I get two kind of characters essentially. So I get to play a Mandalorian, and this is just a prototype, FYI. But I made this out of PVA foam.
Wow, that's awesome.
I don't know if you can see it that well.
And this is my first time seeing it too, and that looks great. Yeah, that's really exciting.
I still need to add like an antenna, but I was trying to go for like a rusty, kind of look and add the antenna and the armor. I can finish that up as well for this one. So this one will be really fun. I was originally using this one for like my King Mando, but I ended up doing something different for that, like a crown, and it has the mythosaur. It looks badass. So anyway, I was thinking I could try to touch this up and add some other stuff. And I was even thinking, I don't know if my Mando guy has a name, but I'm just giving him a name in my head. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, give him a name. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, this is for TikTok. You guys can see this is the one of the foam helmets that I made out of PVA foam for the Mandalorian. It was a little wonky the other day, so I had to fix some of the parts here. You guys seen a lot of my King Mando stuff today too, which was really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But not only that, not only am I getting to play like an extra type of, Mandalorian, character that's in this film, but I get to play one of the bad guys. I get to be the villain himself. I get to be Moff Gideon, which I'm very, very excited about. It definitely fits. It definitely fits. I can pull it off. I don't have the same tone as Mr. Pascal, but when I read the script and I looked over the characters, I was like, I was like, he's the bad guy, but I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. I really think I could pull it off. So I'm excited. I get to play Moff Gideon in this Bo-Katan fan film. Now, I'm excited for a couple reasons, and a lot of that, even watching The Bad Batch, these are questions that I've had is, you ask yourself, where were some of these characters in early moments of the original trilogy and during like Rebels, Clone Wars, stuff like that. And that's always been a question that's always been in the back of my mind. So now being able to be a part of something that says, well, here, let's envision what that could be and what that could look like. I'm very honored and excited to be a part of it. So yeah, I get to play a Mandalorian, not Mando, not Din Djarin. He's not in this film, at least not that I know of. But I get to play a Mandalorian, so I'll be in the film as a Mando, and then also playing the baddie himself, Moff Gideon. So you guys are going to be super stoked for that. Gabriel, you have a channel as well, correct?
YouTube channel. Yeah, it's just called Kawamura Pictures.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure once the film is out, obviously it'll be on YouTube where you guys can see it. Even here on my channel, we'll do a watch party. So once he releases it, on his channel, we can watch it through the stream. And we'll make it a big event. Now, like I said, you're filming next month. And do you, as far as release date, I know again it takes time for editing and getting everything together, making sure you got all the costume pieces, everything. I know it can take time, but as far as like release date, do you have a goal in mind that you're like, hey, this is the date I would really like to try to get this pushed out?
Yep. So the big goal is by Star Wars Celebration in 2022.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And I have full confidence that we're going to make it at that time. My hope is that we're actually going to finish the film and it's going to be released for you all sometime this year in 2021. So it hopefully like, I don't know, November or December or something like that.
That's great, man. December would be, that's a nice little Christmas gift for folks, and honestly, that would be perfect time if you think about it, because again, at least that we know of, I know this, someone that works in the industry like myself, there's that thing called confidentiality where directors or actors can say one thing publicly, but behind the scenes, it may be a different story where it's like, we haven't filmed anything yet. We don't know anything yet, but secretly it's like, oh shit, we've already filmed 2 seasons. I'm tired. You know what I mean? So, with that, from what we know about the Mandalorian Season 3, they say they haven't filmed anything yet, which is quite possible because, a lot of the folks who are behind that project are working on Kenobi. So, that very well could be true. But I do know, just like sometimes it's a thing of confidentiality where certain things have to be set up a certain way to release a public, type of response or, announcement, and sometimes that's what I wonder. I could be totally wrong on that. But if that is the case where it's like, oh yeah, we probably won't be getting Mandalorian Season 3 for like maybe 2 years, it might be a sweet thing to have something else come December where it's like, oh, we got the Book of Boba Fett, we got this, that, and we got this Bo-Katan fan film. You know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. So if you can,
all kinds of Mandalorian content, like
man,
flowing. So
So I am just thrilled to be a part of it, man. And This is going to be it's going to be really, really fun, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Another thing that I read in the script, she's not here. I always forget her name. My TikTok people remind me of the content creator. Like literally, her whole thing it's literally about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Corky. I forget her name. Anyone in the chat who knows who I'm talking about, please tag her so she can see what I'm talking about. But anyway, reading the script, the name Corky showed up, and I talked to you about this earlier. Is there, and you may not be doing anything with that. Corky's role may be more so just to more of that support. In terms of family, to Bo-Katan. So, it may not be diving into anything necessarily with him. But this is just me purely asking out of curiosity. With the character, is there anything that you would like to explore on, theory-wise? And is there anything that we could possibly see in the film with Corky? Okay,
yeah. I will say this.
Without spoiling,
there is a huge plot hole. Yeah, huge plot hole in the Star Wars canon.
Yep.
That Corky calls Bo-Katan and Satine auntie.
Yeah.
So they're both their aunt, and I think the Star Wars fan community picked up on that, and they were wondering, well, does Satine and Bo-Katan have an uncle or another, do they have a brother or sister that just isn't in the story, or maybe Corky is Obi-Wan and Satine's son, right?
Right.
Those are some conspiracy theories that are coming out there.
Yeah.
So the story may or may not explore that little subplot.
Okay.
Yeah, because I found that interesting too.
Yeah.
Why does Corky call them Anti-Bo-Katan, Anti-Satine?
Yeah.
Who is Corky to them besides their nephew?
Right.
They have to be there has to be a brother or sister in there somewhere.
Right.
Or maybe Dave Filoni or somebody is secretly holding out on the whole fan base.
Yeah. Well, and yeah. And the reason why I hold on to that thought so intently, there was an interview that Dave Filoni did, and there were other creators in Lucasfilm and actors that were a part of it was a Zoom call type thing, and he went on to talk about Corky, and he was very vague, but he said something that would make you think oh yeah, he knows something. It was kind of if he were to say what it was, the whole fandom would go bananas. They would go crazy over it. And I was like, wait, what? So yeah, I think, and again, elaborating on Corky, I would imagine, and at least I would hope, possibly in the Kenobi show, maybe they would do something, to further elaborate on that kind of idea. I just feel that would be wasted potential if they did, and I think it would be pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think he knows something's there, though.
Yeah, that would be so awesome. I would lose my mind if they explored that in the Kenobi series. It would just be awesome. I think there's a lot that the fans that they like to think certain things, and it's really rewarding when the official Lucasfilm rewards the fans like that. They give the fans what they want to see. And that's you just want to make the fans happy. So
yeah, no, for sure. Now let's talk about future stuff. Now, once this film is done, it's filmed, it's wrapped up, and it's released. What comes next? Now, is this the story that you wanted to tell, and you're yeah, I'm good with Bo-Katan, or do you see yourself doing anything further with Bo-Katan, and a possible sequel to this fan film?
Yeah, I can definitely see myself making more, and I really want to. In fact, I plan to. Yeah. I don't want to focus too much on future stuff. I just want to focus on this film that I'm making now. I don't want it to be distracted or anything. Yeah. But I have been writing a bunch of fanfics. I have a pre-Vizsla fan film.
Oh wow!
Or not a fan film, a fanfic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Pre-Vizsla fanfic. he's a big character that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I really love Captain Rex and Commander Cody.
Yeah.
So I might make a fanfic about that, and like we'll just see where it goes from there. But
Yeah.
after this film, looking to the future, I can definitely see myself making, like, immediately following this film,
Yeah.
a sequel, or I don't know, like I don't want to like get anybody excited about a sequel, but like just something else after this film, like immediately. Because like I've had so much fun already making this film, like I just want to keep it going and like, you know, do some more stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
contribute to the fan film community on YouTube and everywhere else.
Yeah. No, I'm excited, man. And that was one of the thoughts. I was like, you know, when this comes out and, you know, it blows up and I know what's going to, I'm like, I wonder if he's going to do like a sequel to it. I'm like, he's got to do something. I'm sure. Now, the other question that I have for you, and maybe, you know, this just comes with time, because I know how that is too as a creator, where it's like, you know, yeah, you think ahead a little bit, but it's also nice to kind of just be in the moment and kind of, you know, going with things within the day. But there's something else I thought about earlier today. And I don't know if it was as I was reading the script or what, it came to mind, but I was thinking about Bo-Katan and all the other, you know, Disney Plus shows that are coming out. And, you know, she doesn't have her own show. It's not to say that, you know, she isn't a character that's worthy enough to have her own, because I think she is. But then, you know, that also leaves some room for other creatives. Now, you know, for a director like yourself, if you're like, you know, if, you know, hey, this film blows up and it does things that you were like, wow, I didn't expect that, would you consider like doing a web series for Bo-Katan and kind of elaborating on going things, you know, kind of forward after that? Yeah. You know, because when I think about the way I see fan films, I see them as, you know, in a couple things. Like it is a passion statement. It is a passion project that a creative puts together and makes this collective, you know, vision come to life. But then also I see it as an opportunity where it's like, it's almost like a pilot for something bigger, you know, in some instances. And and when I think about this project, and I'm like, you know, just reading the script and looking how everything is going, I'm like, I really feel like, I wonder, you know, if this blows up and goes beyond your expectations, you know, it would be interesting to see, like, if you would consider doing like a Bo-Katan web series. And if so, if that's the case, what are other characters? I mean, I'm kind of putting you on the spot thinking about kind of like future stuff, but not so much in the sense, because we kind of know where they left off in Rebels. We know what we got in the Mandalorian, you know, with Bo-Katan. So if you were like, you know what, yeah, now this film is great. It's not necessarily a sequel, but this is the web series takes off out of that. What are other stories within Bo-Katan's life and her timeline and other characters that you would want to throw into that web series?
So many things that I would love to explore.
That was a big, broad question.
You know, Bo-Katan, we see her at a very specific point in her life. Yep. And then in The Mandalorian, we see her, you know, at another point, but we don't have the gaps filled in. We don't see her before she joins Death Watch. Obviously, her and her sister Satine are very close at one point in time. Yep. They're sisters, obviously. So I would love to explore Bo-Katan's early life. And you mentioned a series, that would be awesome. Just like a full timeline of her life and like other characters as well, seeing how all these relationships kind of like, you know, come together, go apart, and like, you know, almost like Rebels in a way. Yep. You see these characters develop and evolve and their personalities change and stuff like that. Yeah. It would be amazing to see more of Bo-Katan and Sabine in their early life, and then see Bo-Katan when she joins Pre Vizsla in Death Watch. That would be super cool. Yeah. See more of her involvement, because she's one of Pre Vizsla's lieutenants in Death Watch. You know, she's fairly high ranking. Yep. See what that entails, and then from there, see, you know, what she does when she, in between Clone Wars and Rebels, there's a little bit of overlap, or a little bit of separation where we can bring things together. You know, she kind of pops up in the Star Wars canon where it's convenient. I kind of have to say. Like, she pops up in Mandalorian, but
Yeah.
you don't even know where she's been in that time. Like, there's
Right, and she looks great. Isn't she like 50 something?
yeah,
technically,
like not missing an arm or anything
right?
like that.
She looks not even a wrinkle. But she looks like, what have you been doing? God, yoga, Mandalorian yoga. I need to do that. Let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting. Like, there's years and years
Yeah,
in between where we see her. Like, she pops up, and there's so much to explore. There's just really
Yeah.
a lot to explore. Another thing is what happens before she shows up in Mandalorian. What is she doing, and like all that stuff. So there's a lot to explore. And with the Darksaber too. The Darksaber is like a character in and of itself. Like, you see Pre Vizsla with the Darksaber, and he says that like some of the Vizslas or something like that, they take the Darksaber from the Jedi Temple. That would be awesome to see. It would also be really cool to see his ancestor Tar Vizsla, the very first Mandalorian Jedi. Like, that would be super cool. Just following the story of the Darksaber, like the ups and downs, and like, how did Moff Gideon end up with the with the Darksaber? Bo-Katan receives the Darksaber from Sabine. How did she lose it? How did Moff Gideon attain it?
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. I was like, since I'm playing Moff Gideon in this film, which Moff, you guys have to see what his role is. I'm not going to say anything right now, but that was going to be one of my questions. Is like, is that something you'll elaborate on? But it's potential that maybe down the road we could see something like that, coming from you if you were to consider doing like a type of web series, which I think would be really fun. Yeah,
absolutely. If Lucasfilm doesn't do it first, then I might have to just do it myself. Because if they pursue other things, I would personally really like to see how the Darksaber ends up in these people's hands, and what happens with these characters, and what the dynamics of these characters, and how they come together, how they're pulled apart, and what happens there. So
I think you're on to something there too, man. I feel like that itself is a series alone. And by the way, TikTok folks, what we're talking about a Bo-Katan, a fan film that I'm a part of, and director Gabriel Kawamura, he is putting this together. Filming production will start next month. So this is something that will be coming to YouTube. It'll be up on his channel. And once it is up, we're definitely hoping sometime later this year. So maybe sometime like around December, we'll definitely try to keep you guys posted. And eventually there'll be a trailer. So once we get word of trailer and all that stuff, of course, we'll let you guys see that. But that's what we're talking about. And, we're discussing an idea of, a possible web series that, potentially, like, hey, if the film blows up, and it which I'm sure it will, there's always room to elaborate on certain stories when you make a fan film. But and again, filming, it takes time, it takes resources. It really does take a lot. But if your heart is in it, you're passionate about it, and fans want it, man, and it blows up, then it's like, boom, let's make it happen. But when I think about Bo-Katan, it's just so funny, because I was thinking about this literally earlier today. I was like, wow, Boba Fett's got his show, Mando's got his show, Ahsoka, and again, it's not to say that Bo-Katan isn't worthy of one, but I'm just surprised that there isn't anything that's been elaborated on, with her character, which, and again, you said something to Gabriel that definitely makes sense with her character. And there are other characters like that too, who just kind of show up at the right nick of time, and they can, they're not necessarily the strongest or most popular characters, but they're meant to be in the story for a purpose. Almost like Maul. I would even say Maul. It's kind of like that, where he is, meant to be the stress and strain, and he's also that character that's meant to suffer, and you're meant to watch him go through these trials. You know what I mean? And for Bo-Katan, I think for her, I think a lot of what we've seen is just a trial of redemption, for her character, and I think that's a lot of what this film is definitely diving into. But again, with her, I think. Yeah, there are a lot of like little gaps as we think about her life. Like, okay, from where we've seen her in Rebels, where that left off, to the Mandalorian, like, you know, what all happened. So I think, you know, this film will, and again, Rebels fans, this is where the money's at. You guys are really going to enjoy this film, seriously. So if you're a Star Wars Rebels fan, you know, like myself, then you're literally getting all of that, but in live action. So it's going to be amazing. Now, Gabriel, anything else that you wanted to share about the film? Little things little details, or just something that you wanted to share about it, whatever.
Yeah, I would say when you're watching the film, look out for Easter eggs, because there's going to be, you know, lots of stuff for fans to enjoy and sink their teeth into. You know, myself as a fan, I love these characters. I love these props, and, you know, and I just want to like integrate, like, you know, I'm a big fan of Easter eggs too.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
Watch the films and say, oh, what's that? And all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like to give the audience and fans what they want to see and kind of please them, and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, watch out for Easter eggs. Rewatch Rebels again. Yes. Watch all the Mandalorian episodes and Clone Wars. Watch Mando Season 1 and Season 2. Like, yeah, just kind of do your homework in a way, and you know, just.
Now, when you say Rebels too, because I know this Bo-Katan, you know, fan film, it picks up after a certain point in Rebels. Could you give folks like, hey, if you really want to try to do your homework, what's the episode or episodes that they should watch in preparation for this film?
Okay, Trials of the Darksaber. I don't know, that's Season 3 somewhere. But yeah, watch like the Darksaber episodes, and some of the Mandalore episodes, like Imperial Super Commandos. We may see some Imperials and some Imperial Super Commandos in the film. And yeah, the Darksaber has a part to play in this film. So for sure, I can't emphasize enough to watch Rebels Season 4 Episodes 1 and 2. Like I said earlier in the talk show, this is basically Rebels episode 2.5. So it's,
yes. This is where Sabine,
she's training with Kanan.
Kanan, yeah. And then eventually, so I don't know if you're, and you don't have to answer this. This is just me thinking out loud. But, you know, I think there was also that big question that a lot of us fans have had, especially after watching The Mandalorian, where there's certain rules that go in place according to who can wield the Darksaber. Maybe that's always been there. I don't know. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not cognitive with the history fully about the Darksaber. But I did think that was puzzling, especially, you know, when thinking about like these moments in Rebels, where it was like, it seemingly seems like Sabine, she just, you know, gave it over, you know, to Bo-Katan, but it seems that you have to earn it in battle. So, you know, I thought that was interesting. Yeah,
because it's that's something that's very important to the story. Thanks for mentioning that. Sabine, she does earn the Darksaber. She earns it by defeating Gar Saxon in combat. I think it's Gar Saxon. It might be another Saxon.
Yeah.
No, it is Gar Saxon for sure. She defeats him in combat. He's wielding the Darksaber.
Yeah.
And so therefore she is the rightful owner of the Darksaber. And then she just hands it over to Bo-Katan. And then in Mandalorian Season 2, Bo-Katan doesn't accept it from Din because you have to like earn it.
Right.
You have to like defeat it, and like in Mandalorian culture, you have to actually kill the person. So that brings up like a lot of interesting questions with Mandalorian Season 3. What's going to happen? Like, is she just going to let Din like become the new Mandalore and unite it, or like what's going to happen there? So that's something that actually is very, very important in my film.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan receives the Darksaber from Sabine. She just hands it to her.
Yeah.
And therefore Bo-Katan doesn't feel worthy of the Darksaber. She doesn't feel like she's truly the rightful ruler and uniter of the Mandalorian people. Just because she has the Darksaber doesn't mean, that she earned it. So she's really struggling with that in this film. And she feels like she needs to earn it. But what you will see in the film is her earning the Darksaber. by whom. I can't tell you, but
Okay.
maybe she becomes the Mandalore in this film, and maybe like rightfully. So
Okay.
that's a big thing.
Yeah.
She has this huge responsibility. The Darksaber it has so much meaning. It means that you are the Mandalore, and the Mandalore is the uniter and the ruler of all the people, all the clans, and you're supposed to lead all these people.
Yeah.
And that is a huge weight on her shoulders. She feels like she failed Mandalore. She feels like she failed her people and doesn't feel worthy of it. Being a part of Death Watch, she feels like she is responsible for Maul taking over and for Mandalore just to be, completely destroyed and stuff like that. Yeah. She has so much weight on her shoulders, and now she has the Darksaber, and everybody expects her to make everything good again. And it's really daunting for her, and that's kind of where the story is. That's where the story takes off.
Yeah.
And then we explore what that means and how she will rise above it and become the true Mandalore.
Interesting. I love that, man. It's going to be so, like, as you're speaking about it, I can just visualize everything. And someone says, big fan. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And you mentioned something too, like kind of wondering, did we do this morning? Yeah. I think in this morning stream, we talked predictions for Mando season 3. And this is something I didn't mention, but now I'm mentioning it now because you kind of touched on it. I don't feel like, I guess you would have to put yourself in the situation where it's like, if you have spent your whole life with this ideal of like, I have to attain the Darksaber because, I have to rule my people. Like, this is now my responsibility that I've taken on. And, this is a part of your purpose, speaking for Bo-Katan. And then, something happens, where Din ends up getting the Darksaber, and Moff Gideon kind of orchestrated that to happen purposefully. I don't really see her being okay with it completely going down the road. I ultimately feel, and I said this from the beginning, I don't necessarily see her kind of just walking beside, Din and just teaching him the ways of how to be the best leader. Like, I think there's gonna be some tension there, going forward. But then also,
I agree.
Dan's not the kind of guy that's like, I'm gonna be the king, and I'm doing King Mando stuff on TikTok, just having fun playing with the theory of cosplay. But in terms of attitude, no, that's not Din Djarin. He's not gonna be like, all right, well, now I have to take on this new task and be the king of Mandalore. I don't think it's anything that he wanted. He's like, just take the damn sword, But
that's a good point.
Now he's in this situation where it's more complicated than that, and now it really does kind of bother his belief system, as being a Mandalorian. So I think that's where it gets a little tricky, where you wonder, like, what's really going to happen with those two? I feel like ultimately there would be some conflict. And that's something I'm interested, to see going down the road. So I guess we'll just
and when you brought that up too, I'm just thinking out loud right now. Coming up with my own ideas for season 3. But when Din, he's becoming more used to the idea that he doesn't have to cover his face at all times, because he's seeing all these Mandalorians who just openly take their helmet off, like, it's no big deal to Bo-Katan or the people who she's with. But to Din, the way he was raised, always being told to like conceal your identity and leave the helmet on, don't let anybody see your face. But now he's becoming more open to that. We've seen his face a couple times now. Maybe the same thing is going to happen with the Darksaber. Maybe they're not going to live by the rules that the Darksaber, the wielder of the Darksaber has to earn it in combat, and they have to be the ruler of all the Mandalorian people. Maybe it's similar to the helmet thing, where anybody can wield the Darksaber, and maybe it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, because I could see Dan being like, well, what the hell? You won't take the Darksaber? I can't wear my helmet? There's a give or take thing, and that makes sense when you think of like in universe perspective. where he's kind of becoming a little more lenient on some of those things, where he's starting to realize, oh shit, I was raised in a cult, and not the way is a little more broader than what I was taught. And I think, that's something that he's starting to really learn. Like you were saying, meeting Bo-Katan and all these different Mandalorians, there's so much he himself, is taking on and learning, like, wow, the world is a lot broader. And I think a part of his paradigm is, again, the way the galaxy is. The Mandalorians they're kind of in isolation and hiding, due to the Great Purge, which we've heard a little bit about. And that's another thing I would love to see you expand on. If you would ever like to consider doing a web type series, we keep hearing about the Great Purge and, kind of like what happened, but we haven't really seen that to its extent.
Even Boba Fett, he says that the Imperials turned Mandalore to glass.
Right.
Which it's a very cool line. I love that line, but it's also, it's sad to hear that, because Mandalore is such a cool planet. Their culture is so awesome. And it's sad to see that, the Imperials they obviously didn't use the Death Star to blow it up completely, but just bombing it or whatever they did, they committed genocide essentially, and now all the Mandalorians are in hiding and stuff. And, it's sad, but it would be a very, very interesting thing to explore.
I know for season 3, little predictions are that they probably, will be going to Mandalore. We'll see. Those are just predictions. But if they don't, I hope you're the first to do it, and sign me up for the cast list. I would be happy to be there.
Absolutely.
Let's get into some comments and questions before we end. Someone says, can you say "this is the way" in the Mando voice? Oh man, I get this every day. This is the way. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold. There you go.
So good.
I love your vids, bro. Thank you guys so much. And then Juan Diego says, so excited for this film. Y'all seem like an awesome team. Gabe is gonna kill it. Love the topics. Thank you.
Juan. Really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. It is going to be an amazing film, and we'll keep you guys updated on it. Dexter Johnson, excited to see this film. Excited to see your creative touch, Gabe. Hey, it's going to be awesome.
Dex. Thank you.
Edson Hernandez, Gabe. Did you know these people?
Actually, I do know all 3 of them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, these are new names. Hello. I hope you guys subscribed. I'm just throwing that out there.
Thanks for tuning in.
PGC Mando, what's up? Hello. I missed a few people saying hello. Can't wait to see the film. Nice. Yeah, the film's going to be really cool. It's a Bo-Katan film. Fan film that's going to be coming to YouTube, and I get to be a part of it. I get to play one of the villains, and I also get to play kind of just, a Mandalorian that's kind of in the background of the world, within the universe, which is going to be really fun. So yeah, I can't wait to keep you guys updated on, all the little things that, we hear after filming gets done. And once Gabe, puts together, a trailer, we'll definitely do an official announcement for that kind of stuff. But yeah, can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be really awesome. Who would win, you or Deadpool? Me. And other than that, Gabe, did you want to leave folks with anything tonight before we end?
Not really. I mean, I'm really happy with where this conversation has gone. I think we talked about a lot of great things.
Man.
Hopefully I can come back on another day for another talk show.
Absolutely. We would love to have you on.
Yeah. So, but I will be posting stuff related to the film. I'm going to do the official announcement sometime soon.
Okay.
DadaLorian, you have full permission to be promoting and stuff like that as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, so just everybody watching, just look out for the social media content.
Very cool. You heard the man himself, Director Gabriel. We'll be posting, little updates about the film here and there. So, I'll give. I'll show Gabe. I may even work on it tonight. Some of behind the scenes armor for both of my characters. So I'll let you be the first to see that once they're all kind of pieced together. And you guys will get all the updates on this fan film. Again, I always like to talk about goals. So for TikTok, my big goal I do face reveals, so I don't really show my face on TikTok. It's kind of like playing into the character of Din.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next big face reveal will be at 500K, guys. I know we can do it. You guys always surprise me. So that's the goal there. And then for YouTube, we want to get to 10K subscribers. Once we get there, then I can do some fun giveaway stuff. So that is the plan, but I definitely need you guys' help to get there. So if you haven't already, be sure to go and check me out on YouTube. Some of you guys just don't know that I have a channel. You may be on the YouTube platform, but just didn't know that I had one. So if that's the case, let me be a fresh source of content for you in the Star Wars world. So I definitely need you guys' help. Let's get to 10K on YouTube. We're like almost at the halfway point. So we're getting there slowly but surely. But let's get to 10K. Make sure you guys go subscribe, and then just type on one of my most recent videos, comment and leave your name and just say, hey, it's me from TikTok, and I'll respond back to you guys. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and end here on TikTok. You guys have been amazing, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for another live stream. This is the way. And I just ended on TikTok. Gabe, it has been so amazing to have you on. And of course, I'm definitely bringing you onto the show again because I just love talking to you. We have a good time geeking out, talking about Star Wars and everything. So if you're down, I'm totally down to bring you back on and have you
definitely. Yeah. I'll always talk Star Wars.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you take care, my friend. And I will be seeing you probably sooner than later. And a lot more galactic attire, to say the least. So
sounds good. Yeah.
All right, my friend. Really take care. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow morning for another live stream. This is the way.